Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Izam, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I paint avocado in watercolor. I am using Tayasui Sketches Pro app on my iPad Pro. You can be using any kinds of iPad as long as you can run Tayasui Sketches Pro. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Hey guys, so let's start Tayasui Sketches Pro app and let's begin with the new canvas. Let's start with having the watercolor brush. Press and hold to bring up all these settings. I'm going to set the opacity to the highest, and today we're going to draw the avocado. So we always begin with the lightest color, and the lightest color that we're going to choose is green. So take this green, we're going to draw the insides of an avocado. So let's begin. It's like a teardrop, so draw something like this. It looks somewhat like a pear. Fat bottom, but not too fat like a pear. It looks more like a teardrop. Okay, that's one. Let's draw another one over here. Okay. This is like a sliced up. Cut into two. This avocado has been cut into two. So it's one half and another half here. So let's let it dry. So that's done. So let's have another layer. We're going to draw a much darker green now. So let's take this green just one step higher and let's have it on another layer. So now let's paint using a smaller brush, okay, like that, about 30, and we begin by coloring the edge like that. Careful that you don't color out of this boundary, okay, and do the same for this, and that's it. For this I'm going to use the water brush and just fill it in, just pull the color out, like that. Same with this one, okay, and let it dry. So that's done. So let's now use another layer and we're going to change the color. Now we're going to add a darker green, okay, again on the edge. Make sure you change to the watercolor brush and let's go. Let's do this. Color the edge. And do the same with this. Just a light touch. You don't have to add so much pressure. So I'm just gonna use the water brush and just pull the color inwards, curve it like that, and let it dry. So this is done. So the next thing that we're gonna do is the outer layer. Okay, the outermost layer, we are going to have another layer, and this time the outer layer will be a dark brown. Okay, maybe this brown is fine. Let's try. Use this watercolor brush, set the brush size smaller, about 20, and let's begin. Slowly follow the edge like that. Okay, on the outer edge, and we do it over here as well, the other half of the avocado, and dry. So now let's have a darker brown. Press and hold and bring this color downwards so that you can get a darker brown. Tap add and let's begin by painting again, and let's follow the contours of here. Drag and let go. Do the same for this. Follow the contours and let it go. I'm going to use the water brush and just slowly bring the color in like that, so that I'm creating this kind of effect. Look at this. Okay, I'm gonna let you see by zooming in. See that? Okay, and let it dry. All right, so now we're gonna draw the insides where the seeds are embedded. So first over here we're gonna draw the hole where the seeds are supposed to be, and here we're gonna paint the seeds. All right, so to draw the hole, remember that it's gonna be a concave and there will be shadows. All right, and the hole is a circle. So let's begin. Make sure you have a new layer. Okay, so we have a new layer, and we're going to change the color. We're going to change the color to, I think, let's see, let's choose this green over here, or maybe a darker one, maybe this one. Make sure you change your watercolor brush, set the opacity to about 75, just to be safe. We don't want it to be so deep. Okay, so we have to raise the brush size, okay, so that we can cover more area with less stroke. So your hole will be like that, and do the same for this one, just a slight touch like that. Okay, and now we use the water brush to just like that, just slight dragging of the color out. Alright, so that is done. We are going to add something else in there. Alright, it's going to be a shadow, because it's going to be, there won't be a seed. The seed, I'm going to put it over here. So this is just a concave area here where there will be a shadow being cast. So let's change the watercolor brush. Make sure you change the opacity to about 55, change it to a brown color, and change the brush size, okay, to about 30. And let's begin. Just follow this edge over here, okay. Make sure it's like a curve, like that. Softly, and use your water brush. In this case, I think my water brush is a bit too big. I'm gonna make it about 27 or 25. I'm gonna pull it, the color, like that. Okay, I am not going to pull the color over here because I would like the edge to be defined like this. There is a line, okay, so, but over here is fine. It's gonna have a gradient, and let it dry. So now that is done, somewhat done, okay. So we have a nice shadow that forms here, that we can see that, oh, it is a concave shape, okay. So over here we're gonna paint the seed. Have another layer, or should we just do it on this layer? Okay, let's do it on this layer. Now the seed has to be brown, right? So use this watercolor brush, raise the opacity to the highest, and now raise the brush size to about 50, and let's color it in like that. Okay, look at this hole and do the seed about the same shape. Okay, color in some more and let it dry. We're going to add some definitions as well as shadow to make it look like a 3D and it's coming out towards you. So now we're going to have the darker brown. We're going to lower the opacity a little bit, about 90, and we add the shadows over here at the sides and below, over here as well. Slowly, don't add too much pressure. Now we use the water brush to have some, to pull the color inwards to have a gradient, and let it dry. This time add another layer of paint, use the second watercolor brush, and let's begin again. And think this time I'm going to move the opacity level to the highest, add more paint, let it be darker over here, and like that. Use the water brush and pull the color inwards and let it dry. Alright, so now the shadow has been formed. We need to have some sort of a reflection on the seed because it's protruding out, so it will receive the light. Receive the light somewhere over here, and because we have the shadow down here, the light has to be here. Okay, so for light, I'm sure you know, we're going to get the white color, and we use the same watercolor brush, but this time set the opacity lower to about 70. So now let's paint over here. Okay, just slowly like that. Just don't add too much pressure, and use the water brush to just pull the color, the paint out from a nice gradient, and let it dry. Have another layer of paint again, right over here, just at the top over here, and use the water brush to just drag the color out and let it dry. So now you can see the effect, okay? But you see, when the seed is coming out, there should be shadows under the seed as well. So let's have that brown layer, okay? Change to the watercolor brush, set your opacity to about 65, set the size to about, what size is that, 80, and let's begin. Just drag, press, and do that, okay? And use the water brush to just drag it out like that and let it dry. Have another application of paint again, the same color, and paint it over here close to the seeds, and use the water brush, just drag the color out in a curvy way and let it dry. Okay, so let's have it some here. Okay, change to the watercolor brush and have it here as well, and maybe over here as well, and use the water brush to drag the color out, have a nice gradient. So that's basically it. So now let's have a bit of texture, okay, a bit of shadow going on around here. So I have a new layer for this shadow. So again, we're going to use this dark brown, use the watercolor brush, set the opacity to about 60, and set the brush size a bit bigger, about 100, and use your pressure, press down a little bit and press down over here as well. Use your water brush to just pull the color out. Pull the color out like that. That's great because our light is coming from above. So now we're going to paint the shadow on the ground where this avocado is resting, okay? So use this new layer, drag it all the way down right here. And now we're going to use this dark brown, use this watercolor brush, raise the opacity to about 80, and just drag, don't have to put so much pressure, and some more, and paint over here, darker color under the fruit, okay? And use a water brush. I'm going to increase the size and just drag the color out. Okay, and let it dry. Apply apply another paint layer, make it darker below, make it darker below here, and use the, oops, undo that, use the water brush just to drag the color out. And let it dry. That's it. So now let's do the paint splash, I like to call that. Use this ink pen and then change the opacity to about 60, change the brush size to about 14 or 15. I'm going to use the same dark brown color and just tap lightly like that, and then tap again, and maybe here, okay, and then let it dry. So that's done. So now what I'm going to do is just use this new layer. I'm going to write the title of this painting, increase the opacity to the highest, set the size to about 13 maybe, and just write the title. Avocado, and that's it. Alright, so I hope your avocado turns out good. If it's not and you're not happy about it, just rerun and keep trying. Don't give up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Just click on that button right there on that page and subscribe, because you will get notifications whenever I put up new videos on my channel. So until then, I'll see you in the next video.